Yes. Don't you have a problem with the politician who, whenever they take to the public, platform, they talk tribe 24/7? Don't you have a problem with that? You think it's normal? No. Let's even ask you, you think it's normal for a politician 24/7 mentioning tribes and who, what, who does? You think it's normal? So if you think that politics is normal, do you have the range to cast aspersions on my political choices? Do you? Do you? In 2013, where were you? If you think I'm holding brief for this government, you are one of the people saying, oh, this is not Uchao in Maombi. You are one of those people. You are one of those people. When you were saying, no, we can't vote for such characters, you are one. Now, years down the line, you want to advise me on political choices, eh? You want. Where were you in 2017? Who did you vote for? And twice. Who did you vote for? Who did you vote for? You know yourself, but somehow you've woken up. You have got this, epiphany. You know where Kenya should go better than everybody else. Please, give me a break. Give me a break. We've been fighting these things for quite some time. You've just joined us. But you don't know. We've been fighting against this thing for quite some time. You've just joined us because perhaps the tribal warlord was ejected from the trough. And therefore, you think you know better about liberation in Kenya. You don't. Just hold your peace and listen. I care about Kenya. And politicians who are dividing the country on ethnic lines are fomenting chaos and problems for the country. Why wouldn't you call them out? If you think it's normal, why wouldn't you call them out? Why should your ethnic group be an issue? Every other time a politician takes to the podium. Why did you choose to be born in your ethnic group? Did you apply? So why should it be used against you? Who belongs and who doesn't belong? So you can't call out these people. When I call them out, you come here and call me names and you know where people stay. Tomorrow you'll say their nationalities, they're not Kenyans. Does it matter where you stay? It's your logic that counts. You may be in Kenya, but you're barbaric. Come on. You're barbaric. You don't understand what's going on there. You're part of the problem. But you may be in Haiti, Nicaragua, Nigeria. You understand what's going on in Kenya. And your contribution is no less. What is this notion that if we can't argue with the person, we go personal? What is this? Who taught us that? What is it? And you think I'm going to be scared of you? You think so? I won't be scared of you because I'm not scared of the President, William Ruto. How can I be scared of you? If I may use an analogy, if William Ruto is a crocodile, you're like a lizard. I'm not scared of the crocodile, but you expect me to be scared of a lizard. No, you are high on something. You're not normal. I won't be scared of you because I am comfortable in my positions. If you think that you're comfortable in your positions, why do you melt down when somebody questions your positions? Why do you melt down? Why do you melt down? Because you should be comfortable. You know what you're doing. You know where you're going. So even if you cast aspersion, don't say, you're infusing hopelessness in me. No, I'm not scared. Even whatever you're saying, I'm not scared because I know where I'm going. Now, that you're scared, you're melting down. It means you are not sure of where you're going. That's what it means. As I always say, truth is like a lion. Just let it go to take care of itself. If you find yourself so vigorously defending your positions, then your positions are wobbly. They're very weak. They're weak. They can't go far. They're weak. If I'm comfortable with them, I'll say, well, why should I care what you're telling me? I know I've processed what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. Even whatever you say, I'm comfortable. I've reflected on my positions. But you people, you stand for nothing, some of you. That's why you go personal. That's why you cannot withstand dissent. Because you are not comfortable in whatever it is you are doing. So if anybody questions, you think, this person is derailing us. Why should I derail you? If you're sure of what you're doing, why should I derail you? Why should what I say be a problem? If you know what you're doing, if you know where you're going, you can only find it a problem because you don't know what you're doing and you don't know where you're going. Casmuel was deplatformed here and then he proceeded with his life. You are calling him a betrayer. Did he betray you? What did you want him to do? When you deplatform him, what did you want him to dissolve into depression? He proceeded with his life. Now, because you're not sure of what you're doing, you follow him and say he has betrayed you. No, you've thrown this person out. You think he doesn't subscribe to your values. Why are you still following him and calling him names? Why? You just should ignore him. Whatever he does, it's irrelevant to what you're doing. So, because you're not so sure of what you're doing, that's why you follow him, you troll him, whatever he does. Deplatform him and forget about him completely. Then I will believe you. So, if you're not so sure of what you're doing, don't imagine that every other person is not so sure of what they're doing. Don't. So don't discredit what I'm doing on the basis of nationality, where I may be, and a lot of propaganda. It does not matter. What matters is your intellectual heft that you're bringing on board, which will help us move forward. If you can't bring that on board, all that you're bringing on board is ethnic politics, Mutietu, Luos were killed, the Somalis were killed. Who wants to get into those statistics? Where will they take you? How many tribes were killed under Uhuru Kenyatta or Moi Kibaki? Those are Kenyans. Those are Kenyans. They deserve justice, and we have not accorded them justice. I'm not interested in an ethnic calibration of suffering. I'm not interested in that. Those are Kenyans. You are interested in that. So if Uhuru Kenyatta killed, I don't know how many people, William Ruto killed, so this one is better. That's primitive. I don't look at things like that. So don't go personal. Stick to issues in question. If you do that, we'll move this country forward. If you go personal, you castigate people, you go, for the man, as opposed to what the man is saying. That's a sign of atavism. It's being completely atavistic. We must call out all these politicians, especially the likes of Kashagwa, who are ever mentioning tribes in Kenya. Tribes. And before you realize, that thing is embedded in your psyche. Embedded in your psyche. And that's how you're going to vote. Because that's a narrative that he keeps on regurgitating. That's a narrative. It's going to get embedded in the psyche of a cross-section of Kenyans. And we will not have an election. And we must, Pipita, as I yield, call out ethnic supremacists. Ethnic supremacists. People who think that there's a hierarchy in terms of which tribe is important in Kenya and which one is less important. We must call them out. There's nobody who invited any other person to Kenya. We all have got stakes in this country. So you openly preach ethnic supremacy, but you don't want to be called out. Me, who is calling out ethnic supremacy, you have a problem with me. No, I can't take that convoluted mindset. I will not take it. I can't put it to you. I will not take it. I will not. If people are scared of calling you out, I will call you out because it's the right thing to do. I'm not going to be complicit in the destruction of Kenya. I will not gain anything. I'll call you out. It will be on record I called you out. When you're preaching machete politics, who is who comes from where, how many people from this ethnic group were murdered, I will call you out. Relentlessly, unapologetically so. So before you take me head on, be sure of your positions. Be sure of your positions. I've been opposed. I've been opposed to some of these people for quite a while. I didn't begin yesterday. You began yesterday, given how rapidly hateful you are toward this government. At some point, it shows it was your government. It's like romance. You are in love, and then this love, it has hit rock bottom. So you hate this person. That's how you're relating to this government. It's like love, romance. I was not infatuated with this government. That's why I can look at them logically. You were infatuated with them. You danced, celebrated them, called people names in their support. Now things have gone south. You want to advise me on my political choices? Oh, give me a break. Please, give me a break. If William Ruto is a crocodile, you're a lizard. If I'm not scared of a crocodile, okay, you can go ahead and think I'm scared of a lizard. I yield, Pipit.
Okay, I see the hand of Kibunja.
Pipita.
Kibunja.
Okay, I wanted to. I don't know whether Weston got my question. I am not like going personal. I'm just curious. I was just curious. I didn't pick Gachagua because he mentioned several. He always goes for Gachagua. Even the other day, we were another space. Almost all the spaces, even when he was asking Akina Professor Kibuda Kibwana, it has to be Gachagua. I'm not here to defend Gachagua. I don't like him. I am from Lima, Kenya. It's not my. I'm just curious. Is Gachagua the biggest now we have to lose? Like we have to be. Gachagua said. Extent worse than those people who are killing, abducting, and stealing, and looting, and all doing all those manner of things. Gachagua is a madman who need to be ignored. He can say whatever he says. He's going to fade with the time. I don't know whether he was which question he was answering. Because when you ask a question, you are told you are barbaric, you are tribal. I'm just scrutinizing. Why do you have to single out Gachagua when you have a bigger fish to roast? That was my point. And the other point was, why would he say Kaluma was right to say a lot of Luos died under Kikuyu presidency, when we know that we also have other tribes who died. And 2018, Raila shook hands with Uhuru, knowing very well that those people died. Why are they bringing the issue now? And they could have brought it then. Yeah. They have been in parliament. They have not been raising it. But now they see collective consciousness of the youth. They have to bring a tribal card. That was my worry. The other issues about barbaric, I don't know, we go tribal, I'm picking my... that's not the question.
Kibunja, a politician who persistently invokes ethnic groups, if not checked, could very easily precipitate genocide, if you don't know that, especially if they have got state power. And they think like that. And we don't call out such politicians. They could very easily precipitate genocide. Because according to them, an enemy is not anything. An enemy is somebody who does not belong to ethnic group. That's how genocides work, operate. That's how Adolf Hitler ended up gassing 6 million people in Germany, Europe, if you don't know. So it's not small matter that this politician is not in government. It is the narrative that this politician has made his political ideology, that it's normal to discriminate, balkanize the country along ethnic lines. Well, I am not holding brief for Peter Kaluma. Peter Kaluma, if I understand what he says, is that we've had atrocities in the past in our history. Of course, we don't like history because it has got blood, a lot of skeletons. We don't like it, but we have to confront it. Well, I know people were murdered in Kisumu, massacred in 69. People were massacred in Wajir, 84, Wagala massacre. People have been massacred in Kenya cyclically at every election time since 92 to date. I'm not interested in the ethnicities of those victims. Those are Kenyans. We have not honored them. We have not found justice for them. So it's a history that is still haunting us. If Kaluma was speaking on behalf of a particular ethnic group, I'm saying that's the politics I'm saying is atavistic. It's not going to take us anywhere. But I know that there are things lying in history that we have not resolved. We haven't resolved them. And it's high time we resolve them. And I'm not looking at these people who killed who killed. No president has got a right to kill a Kenyan. I think we must begin from there. Don't come here and say, oh, the Kibaki killed these people, Ruto is killing these people. No president is sworn in to kill Kenyans. Let's begin from there. And we understand that before we proceed. So I'm not comparing atrocities here. Who killed who and who killed more people? No, I'm saying people have been killed, murdered, political assassinations have happened in the past. We must acknowledge that. And we must find justice for the victims. So that the atrocities that are happening now are not new. They're building on the atrocities that happened in the past. Factually correct. Whether Kaluma is looking at it disjointedly, that's his own take. This was my interpretation. I don't hold brief for him. And I don't like ethnic supremacy. That's the point I'm making. Kivuta, I asked Kivuta because Kivuta is presented as a voice of reason. I was asking him, can he explain why he, on one hand, is this progressive person, but on the other, he hangs around people like Rigathi? Isn't that a valid question? Isn't that a valid question? Like, on what basis are you running with the hare and hunting with the hounds at the same time? On what basis are you doing that? Valid question. Let's see consistency. If you're talking to young people to have morals, values, to have a Kenya that is different from the one that is there now, let's see your lifestyle reflect that. Well, he waffled on that question. Didn't he waffle? He waffled. He waffled. I asked him, show me your friends and I'll tell who you are. Isn't that a valid question? That's why I cited that example, because he's presented as different from the rest.
He was being protected by the host.
Pull up. Let's get Luca and Japonji as well, so that we can also get more people, more voice into this. Luca and Japonji. Luca.
Yeah, thanks for the chance. And maybe we happen to misunderstand. In defense of Western, I think it's not only Gashawa you mentioned. Okay, for today you mentioned Gashawa, but a few weeks ago I remember you mentioned this guy Matiang'i, and he explained it very well, and he said there are some guys hanging around Matiang'i, and he mentioned something about Matiang'i. So, but that is not really necessary at this moment. What is necessary for us is that we combine all of our efforts and fight for better governance of this country, better leadership for this country. That is what is best. We have to realize that all of us, even in this space, our aim is for a better Kenya, okay? There is something positive that all of us are bringing into this fight for a better Kenya. So we need to combine our efforts and fight for this better Kenya, whether we are in the country, whether we are outside. And we need to realize that none of us is perfect. Sometimes we make mistakes, but what is good is if we combine all of our efforts and fight for a better country. Thank you, Pipita.
Thank you, Luca Matoke, for that. Japonji.
Hey, Pipi, good evening. Pipi,
Good evening to you, man.
Pipi, what I'm hearing here is that some people tend or seem to want to justify what is happening now and calling into account why it was not happening before. And I've never understood why, if something was missed because the people intentionally or unintentionally did not fight or fought for it but did not succeed, and the other guys are trying to fight and succeeding. I don't see why there should be, a lot of confusion about it. People, the police killed a lot of people last year during the protests. Before that, actually, even more were killed, if you remember. And even during Kibaki, they were killed. We know that. But should we just now forget about that or mix it with this one? No. We are not. What we are trying to say is very simple. The people who are supposed to fight for justice in terms of demonstration for those people who are affected, they tried or they did not do what was expected as per the standard of today, if you have any standard for that. So why don't we just let people who are going to fight for justice go to the streets, do their thing, and I'm not saying someone is preventing them or stopping them, and let's see what comes out. They have the constitutional right, and from experience, we all know we got this constitution through the streets. We've got a lot of things, progressive constitution, and a lot of things have happened because of going to the streets. So that is unfortunately, that is one of the ways that this government understands. So again, whoever wants to go to the street, I will support you 100%. Because I'm optimistic, I only choose to pick the glass and say that it is half full, not half empty. Whatever happens tomorrow, it will be a wake-up call. It will from Wednesday going forward, 25th, that is, whatever happens to the street, it will still be a game changer. You know, these things have happened before. We don't know the scale that is going to happen on, but it will. Whatever happens, positive things are going to come out of it. Whoever looks at it negatively, it's up to them. They have those that it's their own opinion. I respect that. And before I land, people, hapa hivi tunaona Doha kuna Iran na Israel. Before you people forget, naona Iran ishachapa Doha, their missiles hapo across Doha. Bahrain pia ndio hiyo inachapwa, missiles ziko kwa unaziona kwa nino for those buildings. So it's happening, and we don't know what will because now I think the next target probably will be to maybe Abu Dhabi. I don't know, because Iran has said that they are hitting each and every base of the US in the Middle East, you know, and those missiles are passing through the residential areas. So actually you can see them. So yeah, that's what's up. That is what's happening here. Is that there's a lot of tension, a lot of drills around. So let's see what happens as we talk about the maandamano. And me, I support 100%, even 1,000%. Let people go to the streets. They know why they're going there. Things have happened. There is always change, and I hope things will become better. Thank you, people.
All right. Thank you, Japonji, for your submission as well. I just wanted to point out that kila mtu ako na sababu yake ya kwenda kwa streets on this auspicious day. Kila mtu ako na sababu yake ya kwenda. As I've always tell people, mimi nimekuwa one of the biggest victims wa hii regime. I have not been employed for the past 2 years. Clean, jobless. Sijui kama mnanielewa. Like I've been unemployed for 2 years. At my prime age. Unajua hizi 20s hapo ndo unafaa kuwa unatafuta pesa. So for me, one of the things that always takes me to the street is the lack of employment. Number 2, kitu ingine inanipeleka kwa streets ni police brutality. We have already proven, not once, not twice, that the police will find you in your house if they want to kill you. So we need to speak up against that. So those are my 2 top things that I'm going out to the streets to protest against on Wednesday. So kila mtu anajua kwa nini anaenda kwenye street. And of course, naona pale Japonji ameinua mkono juu. Japonji.
Pipi, I wanted to ask you, since you graduated, you have to also know that if you use loan, higher education loan board, the interest started the same day you graduated. When I calculate your interest, at some point, I had to go there and ask them, because mimi walianza kucalculate interest as soon as any loan unapewa from first year, wanaanza kucalculate interest. There was problem. Unless you go personally and you keep tab, pipi nakwambia kama ulichukua loan, ile pesa utalipa, if you took like 80K or 70K, you'd be paying almost $500,000 huko mbele. I've seen this. So anyone who is a beneficiary of education loan board, please always check. Wanaanza, hiyo interest wanaanza calculate from when? Is it immediately after they dispense the loan or after you graduate? That is what I wanted to say. Thank you, people.
Yes, so nakwambia kuna mambo mengi yanaendelea kweli kweli. Naona hapa hivi kwenye comment section Kukurukakara anasema as much as everything points to State House, this could be a strategical diversion. The actual targets could be formed organically, they could be pre-planned. I don't think Kenyans are naive to announce they're coming to State House and not have a backup. They learned from the past. You guys remember the way we said we were going to JKIA? Wakatungojea huko vibaya sana na matia gas, sisi tukaenda town. So don't msicheze na sisi. Unajua, I know a lot of state actors wameassigniwa hizi spaces watusikize. Thank you for giving us numbers, by the way. Wanasikiza hapa hivyo waone kama watu watapanga kenye wataenda wafanye. The detractors pia bado wako hapa ndani wenye wameambiwa wacheze psyops, psychological operations, kuingiza watu woga, waambia bana haiwezi. So that is one of the things I've noticed, kwamba watu wengi wanacheza mchezo ya panya na paka hapa ndani. Mmekuja kutusikiliza mwende kusema vitu zingine. Just to remind you again, pale hivi kwenye Tipja line tunaenda 00 wadau, going to that Tipja and support. Alimini wanasema 2027 Gen Z and Millennial Agenda, odious debt, mineral reserve and mapping land question. Any other agenda is neither here nor there. There are real problems ailing Kenya. Register as a voter, apply for ID, maneno mengi ni upuzi. That is Alimini wanafikiria hivyo. Lyson anasema all influencers be very careful not to receive any money from Ruto sympathizers or bloggers tonight or tomorrow. The plan is to get your contacts and target all your contacts and relatives. You get Kenya shillings 527 and expose your loved ones. Haya, endeleeni kufanya hizo makazi za kulipwa na watu wa government hapa hivi. Utakufa vibaya. So I asked Luka Matoke why people are going to the streets. Mimi nimwambia kwa nini inaenda kwa streets. Japonji, why would you support going to the street? And unajua watu wengi wameleta kwamba the people living abroad are not going to face the bullets and tear gas. So hata mkituambia tuende, why should we listen to you?
Pipi, there's one thing that you need to know, that revolution is not just fought on one front line. Revolution is fought on air, in the sea, in the land, online, everywhere. So whoever can contribute anyway to the revolution is welcome. Some of us will contribute to those posters and utaona. Kuna watu wanataka maji, there are people who are traveling. So Pipi, revolution is fought as much as you have it in your heart and you know you're doing the right thing and you want to be part of that revolution. Some people will be in Nairobi, but they're not show up, but indirectly they show up. There are people who are in government, they cannot show up, they lose their job. There are people who are actually in the security sector, they can't show up, they can't even recruit or post, but they are with us. So that one I know. So for revolution to succeed, we need each and everyone. We cannot call out people who are not showing physically. This war is broad, and war is war. You fought in every front and use everything that you've got to win. So that's how it is. Thank you. Pipi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Pipi,
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Pipi, and also before I land, Pipi, whatever is taking me to the street might not be the same as yours, but the bottom line is we need good governance. And me, the biggest thing that takes me in the street indirectly is accountability. I'm not asking for money. To hold Uhuru into account and call out the odious debts. Do what we have been asking from day one and what he promised to do. If you a big bit, just do the audit of the odious debts. Let's see exactly how much was borrowed, how much we are using, how much we have, because people, we are tired of paying interest for the loan that we cannot account for. It's as simple as that. And the taxes are being increased because of the odious debts and all that. That is where my problem is. Hapo kwa loans zenye zinalipwa zenye hatujui what they did, and then there is this SGR, we don't know exactly the contract that is out there is not what we want. We want the details, breakdown, how much did we pay, why was it inflated, why did Tanzania get a better SGR for like a quarter the price? You see, these are basic things. I'm not asking for much. I've not even reached the police brutality thing. I've not reached there. So that is where I am, because people, I'm paying tax, because every time I send money and all this, it's being taxed. I pay rent, I do a lot of things there. I have property, I have investment. So we pay tax indirectly. And we are asking for the bare minimum accountability. That's it. Thank you, people.
All right. Thank you, Japonji, for that. Luka Matoke, maybe final words for us tonight.
All I can say is that this government, their arrogance is what really has made us to get to where we are. It's my prayer that they change. If they don't change, these things are going to repeat themselves. This thing might turn out like that Indian farmers' protest, whereby people decided to camp in a place like Uhuru Park, and CNN went behind the scenes, and we saw these guys. They had water, they had clinics, they were cooking, they were doing everything, and they were getting supplies from the countryside. So we might get there. It's very easy for us to get there because this government have decided not to listen to us, being led by William Ruto. So if really can listen to us, even now there is a chance of reversing these things so that the country continues on a peaceful path. You said there are people listening in here and informants of this government. Maybe they can get this message from me that they need to go tell William Ruto to listen to us. That is what is best for our country. Hii maneno ya kupigana that government they go to the left and we also go to the right. It does more harm than good to all of us. So William Ruto, please, wherever you are, listen to us. Thank you, Pipita.
Right. Thank you, Wanaluka Matoke. Kibunja. Thank you, Mushiri, for your tip as well. Kibunja, your final words for tonight.
Just a minute.
All right. Japonji, any parting shot for us tonight?
PP, I always finish by saying this government will keep repeating the same mistakes, and they have dared the Gen Z or the Kenyans long enough. And if there was anything that this government would have learned and corrected, it was last year after the finance bill protests. But did they do anything about it? No, they repeated the same mistakes. So there is no trust. The social trust, there's no trust between the people and the government. It's eroded. It's gone. And I don't think now there will be, there'll be time to correct that. Whatever happens on Wednesday, it will just show that things have gotten much worse. We all anticipate that things happen peacefully, whatever is going to happen. And people who will be going to the streets, we will be supporting them, and we will always, make sure that they're safe and all that. And we also know that the government will be trying to take care of those who are protesting in one way or another. We know they're infiltrators. We know the next 2 or 3 days, the agents will not be sleeping. They'll be in all these places listening, especially these recorded ones. They'll be recording and capturing the beats that they want. And things will happen. We expect that. And that's the good thing about this revolution. People are expecting what they know the government will do based on their history, nothing new. And we also know that there is going to be a lot of distractions between now and Wednesday. First distraction would be disconnecting X, or they will play around like they did last time. They're going to limit, the bandwidth or whatever what they do there, and you will feel like there's problem with X in Kenya and all social medias. They have that monopoly, and it's expected. That's what I'm telling you, people. It's expected, and I'm sure the organizers of the they're very smart to know that there are other channels, there are VPN, and people are ready for that, So whatever happens, it's for the good of this country. We don't want, there is nothing like anarchy. It's the people who are going to speak. It's a big letter that is being taken to the presidency and to the government because they have been given more than 7 chances to speak out, to do the right thing, but they're not doing the right thing, people. So that's what I can say. And as you are in this space, also ask yourself what you can do for this country going forward, but not what the country can do for you. That's what you should be asking yourself. Are you a patriot or are you just an observer? Thank you so much, PP, and good night.
All right. Thank you for that, Japonji. Weston, final words. Weston, are you there? Hey, nimeona mwana mpotevu DK Gift kwenye listener panel. Namwona DK Gift pale kwenye listener panel It's been a while, bro. I hope you're doing amazing. Karibu sana. So let me see if there is any more comments hapa hivi as we call it tonight. Thank you so much for everybody who has taken part in tonight's conversation. And of course, we are gearing up to that all big day of 25th of June 2025. That is on Wednesday. So nationwide demonstrations are expected. Let's see how it goes. We are very much keen to see what happens on those days. And of course, the police have come out to say they will protect, after coming out and saying first that they will not allow any type of demonstrations. So there is that also to contemplate about. And as well, when we look at the demonstrators that are expected on the streets, we also have the goons. I hope this time round the goons will not dare show their face on the streets. And it's, of course, it has started. That is one thing people don't know, that it has already started the way back. That now, instead of just going with the water and flags, then if you are coming to destroy our maandamano, which are peaceful, then chances are we are going to also discipline you on the spot. And I really want to applaud everybody who takes part actively in disciplining goons. Yes, that is the way we need to go. Kwamba kama ni goon akipatikana, deal with him with utmost ruthlessness. Yeah? Yes. Na ningependa kuambia kwamba watu nawasikia mnataja Rigathi hapa hivi. I would never dare go to the streets because of Rigathi Gachagua. Let me say it on the show and without a shadow of doubt. I will never go to the street for Rigathi Gachagua. I'd rather go to Lake Magadi and count salt. Mimi niende nipiganie mtu mwenye ana ukabila, watoto wake ndio anaenda kutetea hapo hivi. Ile siku alikuwa na skandoli ya neti, uliona Japuonji hapo, si ni watoto wake ndio sasa watoto wangu wakapata katenda kadogo hapa, mnawagombanisha. Hizo hoteli kubwa Nyeri zenye wanaona, umeona mtoto mwenye si wake hapo. So me, I would not go to the street for Rigathi no matter what. Hiyo na acha tu tuambiane tu leo initoke. Siwezi endea mimi hata Kalonzo, hata Matiang'i, hata huyo Maraga mwenye nataka kupea kiti, siwezi endea yeye kwa streets. I can only go for justice, and this is what we are fighting for. Hii tunapigania ni haki na usawa. Japonji.
Pipi, I just wanted to, you just made me remember history. During the Miguna, when Miguna was in the inauguration of Raila, the people's president, that time, Uhuru Kenyatta was advised well. I think he had some good advice. They told him, look, wacha watu wafanye mambo yao. So when the president, why are you scared? And they let Raila, he went ahead. He was inaugurated as the people's president. And hata wakamwa, I don't know if you remember, there was no chaos. People went there. People were happy. People celebrated. And people went home. I don't know if you understand. Police were not there. They were not said. So what I'm trying to say is sometimes people, these peaceful demonstrations huwa zinaanzishwa na one tear gas. One tear gas in a break all these peaceful demonstrations. People are peaceful, they're just marching, they just want to do their thing maybe and go home. But once you start triggering them, you imagine, then of course there will be chaos. Huh? So I hope they can learn from that. I know they are listening. They can refer to that clip when Miguna was alikuwa anapisha Raila Odinga that time as the people's president. There were no police, there was no chaos, no property was destroyed. You can counter check, you can fact check that, and people went home with their president. And that is what we are saying. Let people go to the street, let them do what they want, don't intimidate them, then things will just come back. But if you start beating people, kuleta goons, then of course there will be anarchy. Thank you, people.
All right, thank you Bwana Japonji. Malia Davis, habari ya saizi?
Nzuri, habari ya jioni.
Niko njema sana. Wacha kabla hata tuende mbali, wacha tusalimie huyu mtoto wetu mpotevu DK Gift. Mambo vipi DK?
Salama sana vipi, ni aje?
Poa bro, karibu.
Asante sana. Good to hear from you. It's been quite very much a minute. Malia, nice to hear from you too. Kila mtu mwingine. First, ngota tu kusalimiana. I just wanted to say hi. It's been a while since I've been on these spaces. But all is well and everything is fine. And Pipi, I'm glad to see you're still here and doing what you do best. And I'm also happy to see HRWP everywhere, whether it's on X or on all the other platforms. I've been seeing you doing your thing. Mr. Sema Mob, kwa wewe in this life, everybody has to carry a cross and carry a responsibility. So I will say that to you who is a goon, whether you're here listening or you will listen to this later on, or whoever will come to pay you for your services is the one who's going to forward this message. We understand the times that we are living in, and they are difficult. And it is a difficult time for everybody to find a meal for themselves. And so kama utahitaji kutafuta 1,000 ama 2,000 kwa njia ya wewe kuwa goon, we totally understand. But in the same accordance, you will understand that we too also have a responsibility to whoop your behind and teach you a thing or two when it comes to you not minding your business. And here, business being that the rest of us that will be out on the street will be minding our business and fighting for what we know is right. You will be minding our business, which is why we need to teach you a thing or two. So while wewe utakuwa unatafuta hiyo 1,000 ama 2,000, jua ama whether itakuwa ya kununua unga ama itakuwa ya kununua paracetamol, sababu utahitaji one of the two, na ninafikiria the latter ndio utahitaji sana baada ya watu wamemalizana na wewe. Number two, if you're seated wherever you are, listening and watching everything that is going on in this country right now as we stand, a country where people can be out agitating for the death of one human being, but another different human being decides to cock his gun and serve a bullet to a man who is simply but finding his meal of the day. Please remember that this is the country we live in. So whether you will be in your house or you'll be out in the streets, you will either die of hunger or you will die of a bullet. Either way, in this country, as it stands and as it goes, the only eminent thing that is very clear is that we are all headed to doom if it goes on and it continues as it is. So you choose which doom that you want. Do you want to die in the house hungry and angry because you do not have another coin for your next meal, or out in the streets, or out fighting and chasing after what is actually right for you? Just think about that. Then you can go and have a good night's sleep. Pip, it was nice to hear from you and happy to hear from everyone. You all have a good night.
All right. Thank you, DK Gitman. Thank you for showing up, man. It's been a minute. We are glad that you're okay. Now, Malia Davis, the mic is yours. Talk to us.
Thank you, Pipita. Pipita, it's very unfortunate when you see some MPs like Kim Kamket now coming to tell us that he's going to bring for us Pokot warriors to come and deal with Gen Z. What now is this country becoming? Because there is a certain illegitimacy that this government has, or this head, let me not even talk of government now, because we are talking about one person. And that illegitimacy, it started from the beginning. You know, the illegitimacy of Y2K, Youth for Kanu, the selling t-shirts for 10,000, the 2007 post-election violence. You know, everything this man touches, even his vice presidency, his deputy presidency, it was just illegitimate. It was full of illegitimacy. And now he's brought this illegitimacy to the point whereby, imagine as a head of government, you can have people who are coming up and saying that they're going to bring, like, what the hell is that now? Is this now Somalia? You know, this country, by the way it's being led by this guy, we are being led like a country which doesn't have a government. You see, like Somalia, you know, Somalia, they have militia. So kuna militia za Burji clan, wengine sijui wa which clan, Al-Shabaab pia ni militia ingine. Imagine you are ahead of a government, but that is how low you can stoop. That is just how low you can stoop. To threaten people with Pokot cattle rustlers, who the government is supposed to be dealing with them, now they have become your protection. Just imagine how low we have sunk, or let me say how low this man has sunk our country. Even this behavior of what happened to this young man, Albert. Now I'm seeing here that the people who are being charged is the OCS and these other so-called the corporal and the other the so-called remandees who are being told they're the ones who killed him. I mean, even that DIG, who I have a feeling that sooner than later he's going to be the IG. Imagine him on that seat of DIG. Una stoop to such levels. Una stoop to such level. When you are such a high level, you know, illegitimacy. These people, they are illegitimate. And that's why you can see how they are behaving. You could see somebody like Uhuru, in spite of the fact that alikuwa na drug addiction issues, but you could see at least there is a way in which he held he had some sense of holding the country in high esteem. You know, not starting to threaten you with Mongiki at now. You guys, if you try to come on the street, I'm going to get, he gets my Nanjenga to say that we are going to, or a certain MP, like you know, any MP who was aligned to him, to start talking about, we are going to bring for you Mongiki. What is we have a government? Why do we need, you know, and this is why I'm saying this government is illegitimate and it needs to just go like yesterday. Because hata hao wenyewe hawajielewi. Hiyo hadhi, that dignity of being ahead of a state, hakuna. That's where you some, I mean, things like this can fly, whereby you can get people, you know, some people opening their mouths to talk about goons, talk about goons coming in the city, they start paying homage to City Hall. Hizo ni signs za illegitimacy, lack of legitimacy. And we've seen it there. The people who have legitimacy, you can see them, the way they hold the dignity of those offices they have. How watu wenye tuko nao sasa, they are illegitimate, you know. And you know how a legitimate person behaves? You always feel that you are not even deserving of that seat because you are not. And you even act like you are not deserving. And you do things which are unworthy of that office. And this is why this man has to leave the office, because this country is a country which is held in very high self-esteem. We are looked at by our neighbors in the region as a country which, number one, we have never gone into civil war, which in 2007, the same character almost took us there. Let us not mince the words. He was the one who was responsible. And he's the one who almost took us to the brink of civil war in this country. The closest we have ever come, year 2007, he was the spearheading person. And now this is the same nonsense which he has now brought in now, officially, using his office. We are not going to allow ourselves to be dragged down to become like Somalia, whereby militias are now holding, you know, a leader of a militia is holding a press conference, Kamket, to start threatening citizens of the country who are exercising their constitutional right. Hapa hivi hatuko Pokot. We are not in a bandit zone. We cannot negotiate with terrorists and militias. And so therefore, everyone who is linked to this kind of behavior is unworthy of any office in this country. Our country is highly dignified. Our country is looked upon by other people in the COMESA and the larger region as democratic. Our democratic space had been expanding. Now it is shrinking. It is going on shrinking until now this man wants to take us back to the time of Moi, whereby you could not even whisper something because you are hearing that kuna special branch mwenye anafanya kazi kwa ofisi yako ama kwa shule yenu, college yenu, and then from there you will just disappear and be taken to be a political prisoner without trial in an unknown place, abducted in the middle of nowhere, as if you don't have a government, as if we don't have a judiciary, we don't have channels of even dispute resolution. This is not a mafia state whereby mtu akiandika kitu about wewe kwa gazeti, you go and pick him from his father's house and then you bring him to Nairobi here to start torturing him until he dies. That is not the level, that's not our level as Kenya. That maybe was there time ya Moi, and now this is what we are saying. We don't want to be returned back to that mess, because that is all what was there was just a mess. And the mess doesn't stay the same. The mess becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And corruption, as we have said, it's like a bottomless pit. It's like a grave. It's never satisfied. So this year, kama munaiba 100 million per month, like DIG was doing, next year mtataka kuiba 200 ama 300. And it's not, this money is not what? It's not infinite. So as you're continuing to grab and grab and grab, we'll continue sinking. Already we are sinking in so many areas, our education, our health sector. And as time is going on, the problem is becoming bigger because you want more. You want every year to add more, to get more, to steal more. So we are not going to allow that. We are not going to allow for some few characters who are just, even they don't have that dignity of that office. Imposter syndrome. You can just see, somebody who even fits in those shoes. You can see the difference between, like, I'm not saying Uhuru was perfect or what, but you can see the difference. You can see the difference. It's so clear. I'm so sad. And all I'm going to say is that Kenyans, let's come out in large numbers to take back our country from these people who have hijacked us. In fact, I could call them bandits. They have hijacked our economy. They have hijacked our democratic space. They want now to shut us down so that we cannot even, I can see here now, IPOA is talking about 63 deaths, 63 abductions, and 26 missing persons. And it's saying that they are not able to, even after Albert got abducted, they have heard of 20 more deaths under similar circumstances, but the police is not cooperating with them. You see, that is the sign of telling you that our institutions are not working. And why are they not working? Because there are some people behind here who are making the institution like a mafia environment, such that now, let me ask you, if right now as a DIG, you can have guts to get somebody removed from their father's house and brought to you to be killed, what about when you become an IG? What will happen? Tutakuwa tuna operate like mafia. Like, if you talk anything about me, I just call, can you bring for me Pipita in my office? Then I shoot you in the head. Even there is not using somebody. I shoot you right there in the head venye tunaonanga kwa Sopranos or the other. We cannot go that way. We cannot go that way, and we're not going to agree to this. And sacrificing some low junior officers here and some remandees, as I can see, those are the people who have been sacrificed now to go for the murder, whereas the real person who has a real motive to kill this young man is being shielded. We are not going to allow for these kinds of impunity. We want our country back, and we're going to take it back on 25th. Thank you very much, Pipita.
Okay, thank you, Malia Davis, for your submission. Nitachukua one final submission kutoka kwa huyu kaka yetu Kisa. alafu tutakuwa tunafunga hivyo. We'll be back here again tomorrow, and also Wednesday we'll be doing a full coverage of that of the maandamano. Yeah, hopefully I'll get myself on the street as well with a camera. Nitakuwa, lakini sasa kuwa na kamera ni tofauti because watu ni majambazi pale saa zingine. But one thing I want to point out is you are the reason why we are here. If you like what you're doing, go into that tip line and support our show. I want to go to Senator and then we finish. But mine is just to share that kuna watu wanasema kwamba watu wanalipwa na kuna watu ambao wakikuwa na opposing thoughts wanaanza kukuwa kama maadui. It's called a democracy for a reason. So let us not just also go around accusing each other and not being able to get the facts right. That is what they want. They want you to turn against each other even before they pay anybody else, so that they pay less people. That is what I would do. I'd first let you attack each other. Oh, umelipa, and then I'll pay the people who actually matter. Ukiona mtu kama guy though, the way he's speaking, you realize there is something wrong with that guy, or he's doing it on purpose. Wait for him. Leo ama kesho, guy though must drop a tweet or a post. Sikujua bana, ni vitu tu ninaona. Senator, talk to us. Na mniekee tip pale hivi kwenye tip ja line. Thank you. Senator.
Asante Peter. Kuna kitu imekuwa ikinipitia kwa mawazo na nimekuwa nikijaribu kuangalia kwa muda, and then nikasema this lazima niongee nitoke. There is this narrative yenye nimekuwa nikisikia pro government, especially wenye walikuwa our fellow colleague kwa upande huu mwingine wa kupigania demokrasia na uongozi bora. Hawa wenye wamekuwa wakisema kwamba wamekuwa out of the government, now they are in government, it is their time to enjoy the government. Peter, kuna maswali nimekuwa nikijiuliza from hapo mbeleni. Historically, wakati President Moi alikuwa kwa power, the same guy alikuwa kwa government. I think sijui alikuwa Secretary General wa Moi ama nini there. After hapo tumekuja tukaingia kwa Kibaki era in which kulikuwa na nusu mkate. That government ilikuwa formed na still they were in government. So imekuja ikakuwa Uhuru Kenyatta, kukakuwa na handshake, they were still in government. Immediately after wamedump Uhuru Kenyatta, now wako kwa Kasongo mwenye tunataka kufukuza. They're the same people now, they are trying as much as possible ku defend Kasongo. In fact, Pipita ukiangalia, the only ninaweza sema Kasongo is like a patient mwenye ako under intensive care unit, na wenye wamemshikilia ni hao watu wamekuwa wakisema we have been sidelined in all other government, isipokuwa the one yenye tuko nao ya Kasongo, it is the government now, it is our time. So my big question nimekuwa nikijiuliza, we young generation, especially wenye wana follow that route, do we have our minds yenye sisi wenyewe we can ask ourselves questions na tuseme, is this really the right information? Because si kitambo Pipita tumekuwa tukiona handshake, si kitambo kabisa tukiona handshake. Even the President Uhuru Kenyatta akijaribu kumove around with that handshake guy kwa mlima, si kitambo tukiona wakisign an MOU, and then all of a sudden people wanasema we have been outside the government, now it is our time. Now from that day Pipita, when they had this blood-based government, that is where now vijana wanakufa kwa wingi sana. Every time nimekuwa nikiangalia another one, I think sijui ni Kirinyaga or Murang'a, another guy has been killed in a police station, but they cannot talk. The guy is so silent. This is a guy ambaye alikuwa akituita maandamano tunatoka without even thinking. Now the generation Z wamempiga enga, they can do it on their own. Sasa wameshikilia Kasongo, something that this thing kwa imesha kwa the country ingekuwa imesafishwa. Now we have uongozi bora. But who is now stumbling block for liberation of this country? Who are these people saying that the people of a certain region, they have been enjoying the government, but we from the other side, we have been sidelined? Na historically tumekuwa tukiona from day in, day out. It has been written, there is no any government ambayo ashawahi kuwa outside the government. So which side, any kind of this region imekuwa sidelined in any government? There's nowhere. And I want to appeal to my fellow young people, especially wale wenye bado ni followers wa ule jamaa upande ule mwingine. It is now time to think, criticize every information, because tukiendelea hivi liberation of this country, it will take longer than what we should have expected. So mi venye nasema mambo si kama kawaida, and when tuta keep ku defend, because we are following a certain person ambaye tumeona alikuwa anatuambia kwamba he was leading us to Canaan. All of us sudden tumepigwa about turn, tumerudi Misri. It is time now tuweke mambo ya kabila kando. Let us focus with one thing. Number one, corruption. Number two, extrajudicial killing. Number three, constitutionalism. Because there is no way we can see the junior officers wanakuwa sacrificial lamb, and yet the senior person, the person of interest, ana walk scot free. How? We want the country, the kind of a nation in which everybody is equal under the law. Those independent institutions, they work according to the constitution. We don't want this political interference by the executive. We can see how now the parliament is acting. It has just carried a stupid people when every time the president akikohoa wanaitika. Wamesahau kabisa, even wakati you try to raise the issue, utasikia another one anakuambia now it is the time for government, na mkisumbua government iko na the power to deal with you. This is the person mwenye alikuwa elected to represent the people, not executive. But what are they doing? And you know the reason why? Corruption. Corruption, corruption, corruption. Because it is this government ndio imepeana that a leeway in which if you oppose the government, maybe they will unleash DCI. Second, they will attack you through KRA. 4, they will unleash another cocoon called the EACC. This institution was supposed to be independent, but they have been politicized. That is why anybody mwenye raise kupinga anything, all those institutions watakuwa directed kwa that particular individual. So some of parliamentarians wameamua to play the executive tune in order kujaribu kujizuia na ile harassment ambayo itatokana na hizi tume ambazo zimetengwa, ambazo zinatakana zikuwe independent. So my appeal ni kwamba we need a country that is fair for all, where the rule of law inakuwa applicable to the entire community. haitutakuwa na selective justice in which we have the touchable and untouchable. So for me, Pipina, I'm ending my submission, lakini nasema kwamba let's stand for the better. This language ya kusema kwamba it is our time to be in government, a certain community wamekuwa in government, sisi tumekuwa out. It is really a very stupid narrative. Anybody who is learned anaweza follow in that route, because you cannot tell me in 2000 and before 2002 the person alikuwa in Moi government, 2002 kuendelea in Kibaki government, the same, there was a government there. 2007 we had a grand coalition government. 2017 tumekuwa na handshake. Now we have a blood-based government. Which kind of government are we people speaking that tumekuwa outside the government? And yet it is our people wenye tuna support, wenye wamekuwa na support this blood-based government ndio wanauliwa in large numbers. Some like ukipata like this goon Gaucho anasema we should not talk about Ojwang because he does not belong from our community. It is their community to mourn, and we should not teach them on how to mourn. Those statements, we should not follow into those traps ya ku segregate the communities in order for government to use divide and rule tactics to survive. We need to unleash the onslaught, even if it survive in this 2 years period, but in 2027 onwards, we want to set a record. We want to keep an example so that the next leaders when you come after Kasongo, they will know that when you mess up with Kenyans, there is no escape route. You will face the wrath, you will face the consequences just the way inatakikana. We want to just to use Kasongo as a good example for others. In fact, in a biological class, or we can say in a scientific class, let's mark Kasongo as a specimen X. We are going to carry out our experiment through this specimen, and then for others, they will make observation and finally conclusion. Thank you, Pipita.
All right. Thank you for your submission, Bwana Kisa, and everybody else who found time to talk to us today. We will be back here again tomorrow for State of the Nation conversation. And of course, the High Court has declared the 2.7% housing levy tax as illegal, saying that it amounts to double taxation. So we'll be looking forward to as well following up on that. And we know where it's going to end. Palace Supreme Court. Yes. So let's wait and see. So anyway, that fund has collected 120 billion shillings since inception. So it's good money from taxpayers. My guy DK talks about how money, how land is being stolen right under our noses with the Ponzi scheme of housing. So we are watching it. We're very much keen. Some of these things are the reason why people are going to the streets. So tumechoka kubeba ujinga. Tomorrow we'll be back here again. I don't know if we will not record tomorrow's space so that we can have a much more open conversation. Yes, because I know there are also people being targeted through these spaces. Anyway, asanteni sana kwa kuwa na sisi hapa hivi ndani. Home Run with PP is supported by you, the listener. I'll keep on saying that. And it is because we are avoiding to get into the pockets of the wrong people. So we are supported by you, the listener. We are a crowdfunding platform. So if you like what you're doing, go into that tip jar line whenever you can and support the show. Yes, upward. Yes, Sasa, I would like to call it a day. Thank you so much for being here with me on this Monday event edition of Home Run with PP. till tomorrow, be safe and also be vigilant as we are gearing up for the protest on Wednesday, mother of all protests, as we call it. Be vigilant and also don't now take calls from random people. Yes, I think that's all for now. Have a great night and a great day ahead. Bye bye, guys.